Lawmakers are considering a package of bills that would boost the fossil fuel sector and cut support for renewables. Our Tom Miller sat down with The Hill to get a more in-depth look at that legislation.
There's a new package of bills that is aimed at strengthening the electric grid here in Texas. What's in this package?
So I really like the way that Senator Nathan Johnson from Dallas describes it, which is as a bunch of parts of a whole. We might even think of them as cogs in an electric turbine. They're supposed to work together. And what the bills aim to do, in the light of 2 years of either blackouts or blackout fears, is make the grid stronger and make sure that there's enough power to get where it needs to go, when it needs to be there. Now, everything I just said is what everybody agrees on, and that's pretty much where the agreement ends. Proponents say it'll make sure that there's enough dispatchable power, which is to say power on demand, available to address momentary shortages in the grid. Texas has a booming population. We keep hitting demand records in part because there's more and more people needing power, there's more and more businesses needing power, but also there's more and more extreme weather. It's getting hotter, it's staying hotter for longer, which means more AC load on the electric grid. And it's also, we're getting more extreme weather, windstorms, ice storms, that's knocking parts of the grid out and making it so that not only is it a question of whether we're generating enough power, but can we get it down the grid to where it needs to go?
As part of this, though, there's an impact on wind and solar, and some would argue this is favoring the traditional methods of power. How does this impact these different factors?
You know, it's really funny. I've been covering power and energy in Texas for 10 years, and I've gotten used to this sort of very particular way of thinking about this, which is, we all know it, right? Like, conservatives like small government, liberals like a little bit more government coordination of the economy, conservatives like fossil fuels, liberals like renewables. And this is sort of scrambling a lot of that, because what the bills essentially do, this is what opponents say, but I think it's a fair critique, is it carves out a huge portion of the power market, which is 50% minimum, for what they call dispatchable power, which means, like I said, power on demand. Now, in theory, that could be almost anything where you can flip a switch and get to maximum power generation within a few minutes. It could be hydrogen, it could be batteries. In practice, it's coal, it's nuclear, and really it's natural gas. Dan Patrick, our lieutenant governor, very much wants to see a big build out in natural gas. And so the critique of this from a lot of groups that don't usually get along, environmental groups, wind and solar producers, power utility buyers, is that this is essentially the government saying you are required to buy a more expensive, less efficient, and in a lot of ways declining form of power rather than wind and solar.
You mentioned environmental groups, part of that coalition. What are they saying about this?
So what they're saying is that, look, I think we have to be honest about what gas means. Gas is a chemical called methane, which is the delightful smell that you smell around swamps, but also is what comes out of what powers our stoves. And it's also 80 times more potent of a climate warming fuel than carbon dioxide. It's very, very potent in warming the climate. And there's a lot of reporting that suggests that the Permian Basin, which is the heart of the Texas gas boom, may be the biggest source of emissions on the planet. So let's let that sink in for a second. Texas is getting hotter. Our grid is under pressure because it's getting hotter and the weather is getting more extreme. And the legislature's solution, or I should say the Senate solution, because the House still needs to decide what they're going to do. But the Senate solution is we're going to burn more gas, we're going to produce more gas. So in a lot of ways, we're talking about a vicious cycle. We're going to buy in more towards the kinds of power that are making the climate warmer and making the weather worse in order to deal with the effects of a warmer climate and worsening weather.
Saul Elbine with The Hill, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.